Well, good morning folks. It's going to be a real hot one this week, so I've already decided I'm going to sit it out. But I thought what I'd do today, it's going to get hot today. In fact, the car was showing 27 degrees as I was driving here. But what I thought I'd do is come and have a look at the trout stream. Now, last time I looked at it in July, it was unfishable basically. But I thought, as I'm not going fishing, I'll have a walk down here and have a look at it. There may be a few pitches and it'll just prepare me for when the weather does break a bit, get a bit cooler. I can perhaps come down and give the trout stream a try. I've already fished 2 streams this season. I've been lucky enough to catch chub on both occasions. Walking along doing this isn't clever. It's an uneven road and I'm sort of tripping over myself. Anyway, as I say, I've already done a couple of streams. I did the chub stream down at St Ives and managed to pull a couple of chub out, for which I was very grateful. And last week I was on the mill stream at Offord, and I lost more fish than I caught, but I managed to get a chub in at the end. So this will be my 3rd stream if I fish it, but not today. As I say, I'm just going to have a look, check it out, see if there are any fishable spots. It's notoriously weedy in the summer and may not be really possible. As I say, I came here once before in July and gave up and I walked over to the main river. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. And I bought my body cam, so as I walk along you can see the spots. So, let's see what we find, shall we? Looks like the farmers are out. Certainly the cows are making a noise, calling to the farmers, I would guess. God, yeah. Anyway, let's have a look at the trout stream. Don't be surprised if it looks a bit shocking. Yeah, as I suspected. There's absolutely no flow. Oh, you're a noisy one. Full of weed, no flow to speak of. Look at that rush bed there. Jesus, it's the whole width of the river. Yeah. Well, you can't even see the stream here. This is unbelievable. Yeah, as I say, I came here in July once before and it was bad, but this is worse. Jesus. Some mean looking moors. Oh, Jesus. That looks like a bull to me. In fact, yeah. Well, I won't be going that way. Oh well. It's going to get stinking hot later today, and even hotter as the week goes on. Well, believe it or not, this is usually one of the most open spots on the stream. I've never done any good here, so I don't normally stop and fish here, but it is really open normally. But look at it, I mean to say, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Oh well, we'll walk on, see what we find. Well, this is another spot I would fish in more suitable conditions. It is almighty. There's absolutely no flow. I've never seen so many lily pads. Yeah. I mean, say in autumn, winter, you know, this is flowing through, and I'd sort of cast over. But those rushes over there, they're across the whole river, or the whole stream. I've never seen it as bad as that. More like a tench pond than a chub stream. Well, complete no-no, really. Well, this is a fishable spot in better times, but you can't even get to the river now. And all I can see, other than waiting for all these nettles, is just one complete mass of rushes. Yeah. God, yeah. Looking at this stream, I mean to say, I'm not even sure if the winter sort of floods, if you like to call them that, or the winter flush would perhaps be a more generous description. I'm not even sure if that was going to clear this stuff, to be honest. And that was a stung on my leg. That's a good start. Yeah, as you would see from some of my videos, I'm one to take on a challenge, and I fish some really quite difficult spots, but this isn't difficult, it's impossible. Yeah. Yeah, I was sort of tempted to bring a rod with me today just in case, but then I decided I can probably explore more without having to carry tackle, and I can check it out. And as it is, from what I've seen so far, the rod wouldn't have been put to any use. Yeah, without having to carry gear and that, I can walk further and check out more of it. But so far it's not looking very promising. This is a spot where they put in some flow deflectors to try to improve the condition of the gravel. Looks like someone may have even tried to fish here. Or maybe not, maybe it's just the people who maintain things. I can see a fish over there, could be a small chublet, but you can see the flow deflector over there. Yeah, I can see they are chub, I can tell by the black tail, but they're about that big, you know, they're not big chub. But at least this is sort of doable. If I had brought a rod, it was probably the only place I could try. I don't know where the bank ends and the water begins here. Yeah, it's fairly clear down there. As I say, looking upstream, it's just completely and utterly choked. Yeah, I see some small chublets swimming around. Yeah, you could fish this at a push, but one fishable swim does not make a session. Basically, because if you got a chub out of here, that's all you'd probably get. You won't get any more. And there's still no flow to speak of. There is a slight flow. You can see the streamer down there is sort of wavering a bit, but yeah. And this is a bit that's been managed to improve the flow. Yeah. As I say, one fishable swim does not make a session. Oh, I still struggle to get out of these sort of places. Well, I'm just heading to what I would call my go-to spot in more favourable conditions. But yeah, this is unbelievable. God, yeah. It's really, really low. Really, really low. Again, the amount of rushes across the stream here is far greater. There's usually a channel around the back there that goes through quite fast. but there's nothing today. What is it, a few inches deep all the way across. Yeah, it's absolutely chock-a-block. I normally fish just up here, but I think today, unless I want to get stung to God knows what, I don't think it's even worth looking at what this spot looks like. But these young nettles are quite ferocious. But from what I can see here, if I just get through this bank and suffer a bit of stinging, looks like after this it's not too bad. So yeah, now look at that. That's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. As anyone who's watched the videos will know, I often fish here and cast down under this tree, but I would say not only is it impossible to get to, or almost impossible, yet there's no flow. And what's normally a fast flow going around that corner is now covered in lily pads, and where these rushes are is where you'd normally land the fish. So it's yeah, difficult. Mate, as they've kindly provided a bench here to sit on, and it's in the shade at the moment. I may sit here for 5 minutes before I carry on. I say it's in the shade. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it just about sheltered me from the sun. Yeah. As I sit here in the shade, just getting a bit of respite from the sun, I think it's fair to say on the evidence so far I won't be fishing the trout stream this summer. There may be something else further up, but normally it gets trickier as you go up, so yeah, I don't know, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, there's hardly any water in it. It's gin clear. There's no flow to speak of. Yeah, as I say, even I, who don't mind a challenge, I find this one a bit too much of a challenge. Anyway, we'll walk on in a minute and see what we find. It's a lovely breeze. Unfortunately, it's like walking through a fan oven at the moment rather than a fresh breeze. I don't know what these flowers are, but they're beautiful all along here. Really beautiful. Yeah. Right, on this bend here there's a spot I fish again in much more favourable conditions, but I have a feeling today it's not going to be even possible to get near it. It normally involves walking out onto a sort of a bit of a outcrop of bank, which in the winter is possible, but in the summer it's under dense vegetation, and yeah, it's normally a nice open glide, sort of goes down from here after the river comes around, or the stream comes around the bend, but I don't know what we're going to find today. But that's just in front of me here is where the outcrop is, so you know, you can normally walk through, but I'm not even going to attempt it today. I don't mind a few stings, but that would be a bit masochistic, I think. This spot here is normally more accessible. Doesn't give you such an easy line into the sort of glide, but it's absolutely, actually it looks like it's beaten down a bit at the end there, as if someone has made it, but from what I can see here, which isn't a lot, there's not much open water. It's just covered in surface weed. Obviously someone's got more perseverance than I have to attempt to fish this stream, to be honest. As I say, this is normally quite a fast glide that goes through, but look at it, it's just covered in weed. There's just no flow at all. see small fish down there, as you'd expect. Yeah, not looking too promising, is it, folks? Well, there's a spot over there I fished. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to even attempt to get to it today, but it's usually pretty chocker with rushes. So there's a little bit of a path through here. Someone's made their way through here, and I imagine today it's even more chocker. Yeah, I mean, say, yeah, it's just a bank of rushes and whole streams full of lilies. As I say, this low flow is just encouraging this growth. It's a good chub spot under that tree over there, but you know where you can get to it, is it? Yeah. If anyone's actually fished this summer and succeeded, perhaps they'll let me know in the comments. Make me feel a bit of a wimp, I suppose, but there we go. Yeah, see, someone's made their way through here. I mean, so this swim is almost impossible to fish, even in good conditions. You're right under the trees, and it looks very inviting, but you've got no headroom for the rod or anything. You've got all these branches. I mean, so it always looks so inviting, but as I say, it's almost impossible to fish in the best of conditions, let alone now. Right, I don't usually go much further than this, to be honest, when I'm fishing, but we'll walk further today because we've got no gear to carry, so a bit easier. Let's see what we find. I say I usually go up to just this next spot actually, and then I don't go much further than that. The next spot is it's usually one of the most open swimmers. See, it looks like someone's tried to fish there as well, which I've done in the past, but not with all that stuff in the river. Yeah, this is probably one of the most open spots, and even this looks chocker. I've never done any good. It always looks inviting, but I've never done any good. Let me say again, there's sort of nettles everywhere. Yeah, you see, this is, perhaps you could pull something out of this sort of open bit down here, but it really doesn't look very inviting. No sign, other than a few tiddlies. I've not seen any sign of anything significant moving around, but there again, I've probably spooked them anyway, walking right up to the edge of the bank. There we go. Right, we'll walk on. This is the sort of main footpath that everyone follows. It goes round, and there's a back channel to the River Great Ouse by those trees and along there. I've fished a couple of times over, casting over by the trees, never done any good, but there's a back channel goes back down there, and if you follow it right the way through, it's quite a long walk, but it ends up at Houghton Mill, National Trust place. But this really doesn't go anywhere other than to a sort of apex where the back channel and the trout stream merge. I fished one of the spots up here, but never done much good, although I did on one occasion. I brought my fly rod down in June. It was nowhere near as bad as this, thinking I maybe had to put a fly on the surface, and I managed to catch a very small chublet here, which made my day. But it was nothing like this. You know, the fact I could actually get to the bank and cast a fly would tell you that it was nothing like this. Yeah, it's just down here. There's a spot. The fact that this is a fairly warm path is interesting, because it's just only anglers that come down here. Yeah, I fished here before, casting over under that tree, and at the moment it seems quite quite inviting compared to the stream, doesn't it? But I've never done any good. But if you were to come, this would be a, well, at least you could fish it. Yeah. Now, normally there's a spot on the left here that you can fish. Yeah. Normally. I think it may be somewhere through these reeds, but it's just completely overgrown, so it's not here today. Yeah. Oh well. It says it all, doesn't it, really? Right, we march on. It's well trodden, this, so someone's been trying, because as I say, I don't think, other than the casual walker following it to see where it went to, it's more or less only used by anglers, I think. I'm sure someone will comment and tell me. Lovely and peaceful and quiet, and miles from the car here, and miles from anyone really. In good conditions, a great place to fish really. Yeah, I'm glad someone has sort of made a path, because I have been here on previous occasions and had to wade through nettles, and it's quite painful really. I've got quite thin trousers on because it's so bloody hot today. Shorts were not an option with all this stuff around. I understood they'd cleared a couple of new swims somewhere further down, so but whether, I don't know if I want to wade through that, to be honest. This is the back channel again, and obviously this is a pitch. Certainly looks more inviting than the trout stream at the moment, albeit that I've tried it here before and not done that well. But if you bought a rod and you wanted a fish, this would be certainly far more inviting than anywhere I've seen on the stream. So clear, I can see so far down. I didn't put my Polaroids in, which was silly really. Not that I expect to see anything special, but yeah, it's certainly fishable this. But not in this temperature. Yes, starting to get a bit stingy now. I'm surprised the path is as open as it is, to be honest. I've come on previous occasions and it's been completely impossible to get anywhere. But that's it, I think. This is where it ends. But you can just about make out the apex now of the back channel, and the trout stream is sort of over there. You can't see it. Anyway, I'll make my way back now. I think that's done it really. That's the survey over, and the conclusion is that other than this back channel, which might be worth a try, the stream really is a no-no at the moment. Right, I'm back on the bench having a bit of a break, sitting in the shade for 10 minutes or so before I make my way back to the car. There's no fish today, obviously, because I didn't come after fish. I came just to see really if it was worth bringing any tackle, and I think the conclusion is no. And I'm going to sit out this week anyway, because it's just going to be too hot for me. I don't do that well in these temperatures, to be honest. Feeling it a bit today. I know we've been walking around for about half an hour, so and I've got to walk back to the car, which is probably another 20 or so minutes. So yeah, so you may have found it interesting. I know it wasn't sort of Bob Goes Fishing, it was Bob Goes to Think About Fishing. Anyway, but if you did watch it and you got this far, thanks very much for watching, and thanks as always to those of you who like my videos and subscribe to the channel. much appreciated. So until the next time, whenever that may be, after the heat wave, I suggest, I may try and go back to Barnwell at some point where I caught that big tench, but again I don't want to sit in the heat all day, so it'll have to be a bit later when things cool down a bit. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, until then, it's bye for now and cheers.